The Week 4 recap and Monday Night Football doubleheader bomb edition of the Bottom Line Bombs and Sports Gaming Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code BOMBS to get a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Start crushing college football and the NFL with Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And with that, we're here. We're back. We're live. We're at noon. We're firing it up. Song, go now. Welcome to the Bottom Line Bombs. I am your host, CJ Sullivan, the man in the box, the bottom line bomber, the Bombenheimer, the bet detective, the laddie daddy, scumbagger Vance, all of the cliche nicknames. I'm coming to you live from Eagle Rock, California, Monday, September 30th. The last. Whoa, that's the last of September. I just realized that. What do you know? Well, means absolutely nothing. No, it means I got to pay rent. Anyway, it is high noon. This is the new kickoff. The noon kickoff, noon Pacific. So welcome, degenerates, to the show. It's the NFL recap show. Yesterday, lots of action. Recap the weekend. We have 2 games on Monday night. Again, another ESPN experiment on us to see if we will pay to watch for 2 games. We will. Recap the bombs. Also have a man in a box segment, of course, about coming up in the media coverage in North Carolina. But first, let's talk about the weekend here. And if you are watching on X, come on over to the YouTube. That way you can join the comments, be a part of the show, of the live show. If you're listening to the podcast after the recording date, that's fine. But you're not commenting. You can comment. I'm not going to hear it. Maybe I will. Maybe if you manifest it, it'll come in. Maybe my phone is listening. The phones are listening. They love saying that. The phones are listening. God, people love telling you that. Oh, our phones are listening to us, man. Good. Glad somebody's listening. I hope your phones are listening to me. And they're downloading and they're giving reviews. Have the AI give reviews. I don't care. Someone's got to listen. I'm not listening. Listen up, phones. Anyway. Good weekend. Before we get into the action, I'll just talk about what I did there. I had some shows on Saturday night. They were fine. At the Improv and West Side Comedy in Santa Monica. Friday night, though, if you saw the VSIN segment I did with Sean and Ryan, you'll know that I also, before that, went to a Hollywood high school football game with our own Colby D, Picks Dundee, the man who I do the college football experience, the Weekend Bomb show. I do the college show with him, Picks Dundee, SGPN legend here, who loves football but hates the NFL. He doesn't hate the NFL, but, you know, he hates anything. Domes, all that shit. 15-yard penalties, all that stuff. 3 of us, me, Colby D, and my other friend Brady Novak. Shout out to Brady. Check out his content at BradyNovak.com. The Kansas City Chief insider from the preseason games. So, yeah, it was 3 men in our 40s going to a high school football game. What's wrong with that? Hanging out in a Hollywood apartment. Then we went to check out some local high school football. Saw the Sheiks get waxed by a Santee, a school from San Diego, on a Friday night. Thought it'd be less weird. It was kind of weird. Young people there, obviously, supporting the community. That's how communities are developed. You support the high school scene. You know, a couple people asked us, "Oh, which number's your kid? Which number's your child?" "Oh, I haven't decided yet, ma'am. Which one is mine? I'm going to bet on them. I'm not trying to be creepy. We're going to bet on them. We did bet. We hit the over. We hit the Hollywood High School over. So shout out to Hollywood High, making sure that leaky defense. Some questionable calls, I'll tell you that much, too, in a high school football situation here in Hollywood. You would think Hollywood High, I guess you wouldn't. think Hollywood High School would be a little bit better at football. Their costume designs were fantastic. Their singing, the band, the cheerleaders, the dance team, they were all amazing. Which I guess makes sense for a Hollywood High School. The football team, well, they could have used a little more order, a little more coaching, if you will. A good quarterback, though. He threw the ball deep, like in the late second quarter for the first time, and he launched it like 40 yards on a dot. We're like, what the hell is this? Why aren't you having this kid throw the ball every play? Did you just find out that your quarterback can throw? Why are we running guard traps? Anyway, good times out there at Hollywood High School, and it was enjoyable. It was a nice little evening. You know, went to the In-N-Out afterwards. Did a little segment for VSiN and the boys, and we had ourselves a good old-fashioned American high school Hollywood night. Not exactly what Bob Seger was talking about with Hollywood Nights. He was talking more about cocaine and, balconies. Not In-N-Out and high school football. Go Sheiks. The Sheik logo. By the way, they have a huge Sheik logo with the turban and not turban, the whole camel riding thing. It seems a bit, I don't know. Can't quite put my finger on it, but it seems like it's a bit problematic. Especially since all three of us were dressed up like Jamie Farr from Cannonball Run. Full on Sheik gear. That was, we just thought we'd get in the spirit of things. That's all. Anyway. Also, it's funny because I was saying the cheerleaders and the dance team, they have a dance team, and the PA was a mess, by the way. Let me get off that right now. When I went online to check out for tickets and stats or whatever, they had options like, hey, do you want to keep score? You can keep score if you want. We don't really have one of those. Oh, really? Well, not really, but it's good to know that you guys are hiring in mid-season. And then usually there's someone in the PA like, all right, that's a Sheik first down. And everyone gets excited. They just had like an open mic up there, and kids are going in there giving shout outs from people's cousins and like uncles and, number 32, Jimmy loves you. Like, what? Get the kids out of the booth. Crying out loud.
565.
You know what I mean? That's Dundee. He was at the he was at the game with the boys. Anyway, all right. Oh yeah, another thing. And this is where I felt a little creepy. Not creepy, but old man. Not creepy. Because they played a lot of music, and they seemed like they were more into the music than the football, if you ask me. But that's a little old man to me. But then it would play like, it's just funny, like the music. I mean, I don't want to complain about it being dirty with these kids, but my goodness. So sexually explicit, these songs. And little girls just singing it. Ah, man. But it is funny, and I always said this before, that Drake, Kendrick Lamar song, which is the number one. It's such a number one hit. And it's the lyrics, it's a beef song, but like it's also about Drake being a pedophile. That's the gist of the beef. So to have children singing it, it's just awkward, just bizarre to me. Like, ba-ba-ba-da. Drake's a pedo. Boop, boop, boo-doo. Like, all right. Anyway, man, that's going to do it for my Chic high school football season. One game, one done. They lost 55-22 or something like that. Something crazy. This is there was a lot of holes in that rush defense. I'll just leave it at that. You know what I mean? Let's move on. Let's move on to the NFL, which I think a couple of those players, at least that quarterback, a couple of those players have a chance of seeing the NFL, Speaking of pregames, the SGPN is the most degen pregame show in the world. Saturday, the College Experience YouTube is live, starts at 11 a.m. Eastern. For the NFL Propcast, kicks off at 11 a.m. Sunday, followed by SGP at noon East. Last second bets, degen parlays, your calls, and more. Man, can't beat that, right? See, generates? Listen live. I could use that. I did a few of those things too. And I'll get into it with my contest plays. But let's get into the Monday Night Football doubleheader. Let's go. Let's look at this show. We got 2 games on ESPN and ABC for you to blow. They don't care if they're at the same time. People love complaining about last week they had a doubleheader. And everyone's like, how can I watch 2 games at once? Why are they doing this? Stagger it, including myself. I can watch 2 games at once, but the whole, they should stagger it. They should be 1 East Coast, 1 West Coast. It's very simple. Just do it like that. So they're 2 on their own. However, we're capable of watching 2 games at the same time. We watched 12 of them yesterday at the same time. But now Monday night, I just like the one and done. Well, tonight, the NFL heard your answers. Did they stagger it and move the times? No. But what they did do instead was they gave you 1 good Monday Night Football game and 1 thing you can complete, 1 game you can just completely ignore. Just another thing that's happening. You have Seattle, Detroit. Hey, that's a pretty good game. Detroit's a Super Bowl, one of the Super Bowl favorites. Seattle surprising. They're undefeated. That should be good. I can't wait to watch that. What's the other one? Snoop Huntley's Miami Dolphins versus Will Levis and the Titans. Oh, great. So I don't have to watch that at all. Yeah, no. Just don't even bother. It's going to happen. We'll tell you it happened, but no need to watch it. Although, you know me, I got bombs on all of them, baby. As a matter of fact, we have a contest bomb. We have good closing line value on Miami -1. It's now 2.5, total of 37.5. So how about that? The other line, Detroit, is -4 now, total at 46.5, I believe. What do you need? That take up to 47. Either way, let me take a look at live so I don't give you a false number here. Just so I don't give you a false number here. Let's see. It is 47. Yeah. All right. And, of course, we got some props. So let's get into the Detroit-Seattle game. That's the one that matters. You have a blackout tonight for Detroit, meaning the fans are going to wear black, or the uniform, or the Lions' uniforms will be black, I guess, black and blue. It'll be pretty cool looking. Yeah, Detroit and Seattle play each other, it seems like every year now. And it's always a shootout. And it's always in Detroit. So I think the reason this went ticked up to 47, I agree with that move. I don't care that it went to 47. I like the over no matter what. There's a lot of injuries on both sides of the defense. Now, Chris McDonald, Seattle's new coach, comes over from Baltimore. He's a defensive whiz. Yeah, he is, but I don't think he has the players just yet. I think their defense is a little overrated from the first 3 weeks. They played Denver Broncos, Bo Nix's first game, even though they just beat the Jets, but Bo Nix still threw for 60 yards in that. They beat Miami without Tua last week and without Skyler, who got hurt halfway through the game. And they beat the Patriots, and they gave up 24 to them. So I don't think their defense is as advertised for that first 3 games. And they have a lot of injuries in the linebacker position. They're not going to be able to stop the run. Now, the only problem, I think, with the over is the pace. I do believe Detroit's going to run the ball very, very convincingly and successfully. So we will be hitting some of those props. Seattle will be throwing the ball. Geno Smith, top 10. Listen, Seattle's was my team, and Jacksonville, but I don't want to talk about that. Before the season, as far as undervalued, I have a lot of Seattle plus 750 to win the divisions, which are now plus 180. So they were my big future team. I think they lose tonight. I think Detroit wins this game. I'm not willing to lay the 4, though. Detroit hasn't looked fantastic. Golf has looked god-awful, if you will. But this place is going to be lit tonight, too. So I also don't want to take Seattle because this thing can get away, and even a tight game can be a touchdown win for Detroit. I do love the over 47. Let's bomb that. It's going to be, they got Dan Campbell. I mean, just Detroit in general right now is going crazy. You have the Tigers in baseball in the playoffs. They pulled an amazing run. They were 0.1% to make the playoffs like a month ago. Then they made it. Detroit doesn't have much going for them. That's why they love this. When the Lions see, when things get going, they get very excited. They get weary, but they also get extremely excited. So this place is going to pop. I love the over 47. Not willing to lay the points, though. But if I was going to take a side, I actually would lean Detroit. Even though Seattle seems like a logical play. good team getting points, but I don't see logic in the air. And dogs are, of course, the dogs are covering. But let's hit a couple of these props. Like I said, I think Detroit runs the ball extremely well. Let's see if we can get some ladders going. I do have a Seattle ladder I will give out as well. But let's see. Take a look at the rushing yards here for Gibbs and Montgomery. Montgomery, his total is 57.5. Juice 67.5. That's pretty high. I'm not ready to hit it. His ladder, I don't want to hit. Although I think he does go over 60 yards. But Jahmyr Gibbs is interesting. Now, Jahmyr Gibbs, obviously they like him out of the backfield, but he's the kind of guy that can hit a few runs and hit a few long runs, and I do believe he will do that. So let's do Jahmyr Gibbs over 55.5 rushing yards. Bomb that. And we'll hop a few rungs on the ladder. Let me pull out the ladder here, boys. We get out the big ladder. Oh, here's the Seahawk ladder right here. I can flip that around for my next one. We'll hop a few rungs. We'll go Gibbs up to 85.5 yards here. We'll get we'll go to the top bunk, if you will. Plus 283. We'll bomb that. And then, whoo. Let's keep on climbing up here to the drones, and let's go Jack and the Beanstalk with this one. 106 yards plus 634, 116 yards plus 980. That's on Bet Online. That's not quite above the clouds, Jack and the Beanstalk, but that's where drones are coming at you, if you know what I mean. All right, that's that Jahmyr Gibbs ladder. I don't mind that at all. But the ladder I gave out on the prop show on Thursday with Sean and Ryan, and I still like it. I like I like all the receivers for the Seahawks tonight. I like Tyler Lockett over 43.5 yards. 45.5 he's up to now. But he's not the ladder I want to work with. JSN. Actually, I gave this out on the VSiN show, not the prop show. I gave this out on the VSiN live show at the TV segment I did with Sean and Ryan on Friday night. I'll call him JSN because we all collectively decided to call him JSN this year because of middle-aged white guys with problematic pronunciations of his name. Jackson Smith N-word, as people would say. It gets dicey. So in order to save all these white broadcasters, we said, let's just call him JSN and we'll move on from there. Anyway, his numbers, now he's at 55, 54.5, 55.5. He's a hit or miss guy. Week 1, let me take a look. I actually have numbers written down for this. Can you believe that? See, Generates? I brought some stats, even though Raheem Morris said stats are for losers. That's the Falcons coach. Coaches don't like stats when they're going against them. JSN ladder. All right, let's hit it. Week 1, he had 2 catches. Week 2, he had 12 for 117. Week 3, back to 3 for 39. So now I think he bounces back with a nice big game. He's got a nice low number. Detroit has given up the most receiving yards to the wide receiver position in the league, more than Arizona, more than Washington. Detroit is giving up the most receiving yards to wide receivers. That's why I like Lockett and I like JSN. Let's hit this ladder. Let's break out the Seahawk ladder. All right, this is where we get scary times. Now, 55 is the first rung where we're just going to hold it. It's where you get your base, all right? Get a couple Seahawk guys, get your Pete Carrolls out there, hold the base, make sure it's sturdy, make sure it's safe. Now we're going to climb on up to the Seahawk. Let me lock in on this. There you go. And then we're going to lock in on the ladder. We're going to go up to 75 yards. That's plus 186. That's no problem. That's just checking out. We're checking out the squirrels. We're going in there. We're going to the tree. We're going to keep climbing the ladder, though. Now we got some cats up here. We got to save some cats. Got to get them out of the tree. The stuck cats. 95 yards when hung around. That's 4-1 at 95 yards. Oof, man, these numbers already went down after I gave them out. 108 yards is plus 916. 118 yards, 14-1. And if we want to go all the way up, my friends, my degenerates, Jack and the Beanstalk above the clouds. Don't look down. It gets scary from here. Just trust me. Hold my hand. I'll be your guide. Take the Molly. 128.5 yards plus 2340 for JSN. Come on. What are we talking about here? This is easily doable. JSN ladder. I love it. All the way up to 128 yards for plus 23-1. How do you not take it? Oh, my goodness. But, of course, we'll do the over. Anyway. So I like the over tonight in Detroit and Seattle. And I like Jahmyr Gibbs rushing total over. I like JSN, ladder, and even a little locket over 45 yards. Welcome to the comments here, to the YouTube comments. We got Takeo Spikes, 5151. Always love Takeo Spikes. He says Tyreek Hill to get pulled over on the way to stadium, plus 220. That's juicy numbers. Tell you what, at night, Cuban Police Squad. It's a good bet, good value bet. Arbo also welcome. He gets a bomb. All right. Whew, this thing's getting away from me already, this show. All right, let me tell you quickly about Underdog, and then we'll come back and I'll break down the actual other game that's happening tonight. That Miami game. Well, I'm trying to show you that. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing here. I got to hide the comment. That's what I got to do. Underdog Pick'em is one of the biggest menus for all sports, NFL, college football, MLB, MMA, WNBA, NASCAR, and more. Their lobby is jam-packed with profit boosts. You can now use special boosts in all flexed entries. I'm going to use my Jahmyr Gibbs with JSN. So sign up with promo code BOMBS to claim your special pick and first-time deposit. Offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code BOMBS. And win today? I don't know. I'm just making up stuff. Anyway. All right. We are back here on the Bottom Line Bombs. I am your host, CJ Sullivan, the laddie daddy, the bet detective, the man in the box, scumbag of Vance, all of these things. All right, that is the Monday Night Football game. Now I'll gently talk about the second one. It's a brutal watch. Miami and Tennessee. I gave out Miami as a contest play at -1. It's now 2.5. I still like Miami at 2.5. I think Miami at home is a significant advantage. Now, I don't like how Tennessee's 0-3 because those 0-3 teams do play well. They're very desperate. Will Levis isn't as bad as advertised. He makes horrible looking plays. He makes funny memes. He's always doing hilarious photos. But I'm a Huntley fan. The guy was an all-pro. Snoop Huntley was an all-pro. Now, granted, that shows just how ridiculous the all-pro system is and Pro Bowls are in the NFL, where it's just like, okay, who wants to go? Who wants a free trip to Orlando? Anybody? Has anybody got a girlfriend down there? We'll give you a hotel. I'll give you a flight. We'll give you a swag bag, I'm sure, you know. Free continental breakfast. Huntley, great. Did you play this year? 4 games? Perfect. Go. You're a Pro Bowler. Yep. You represent the AFC in the Pro Bowl for Baltimore. Sure. Why not? He'll be an upgrade. Now, will he know the offense by now? Who knows? But they got Egg Chain. They got Mostert. They got a good rush offense. They got it. I mean, I don't think Miami's as bad. I was disappointed in them last week with Skyler. When Skyler got hurt, that was pretty brutal. And they did look checked out. I think they'll be checked in tonight. I think Tennessee's I can't. They just keep falling apart. Them getting boat raced by the Packers at home was pretty brutal. And Malik Willis revenge, whatever. So I'll still lay the 2.5. I think the over looks good. It's a low total. What is it? 37 and a hook. 37.5, 2.5. I like both Miami -2.5 and 37.5, the over. Because Miami's defense is banged up too. But I think their offense will spread enough, and I think Huntley will give him enough. That's a low. That's just a little nibbler. That's all you got to get to. Although that's what I said yesterday with the Cleveland Vegas game. I was at 37 and I hit 36 because of a missed extra point. E. Arbo says, take the Pro Bowl back to Hawaii. It was odd why they stopped doing it in Hawaii. The players actually enjoyed a vacation in Hawaii. They actually enjoyed it. But then they wanted to do a thing with the Super Bowl. Now they do it at the site of the Super Bowl the week before. No one wants to do that nonsense. I will say this with the Pro Bowl, and it is bad. And every year the media is always like, get rid of it. Let's end this thing. The Pro Bowl's not for you. The Pro Bowl's for kids. It's not the same as growing up. Yeah, it's not the same as growing up because you're not a kid anymore. When you were a kid, it was great. Those were your heroes. They're not your heroes anymore. They're fun. They're entertainers, but yeah, no, they don't care. They do play it less. But anyway. E. Arbo says a lot of turnovers tonight at Hard Rock Stadium. I don't mind that. I don't know if I have any. I don't have any props I really like. You know what? One prop I do like is A-Chain over 3.5 receptions. If I was going to do that, I believe Huntley will do a lot of check downs, a lot of tight ends. I like Jonnu Smith's over. He'll try to get the Hill and all those guys, but I don't trust that. I do trust A-Chain in the passing game. Over 3.5 receptions, I'll bomb that. But that's enough. Let's stop talking about it, right? Let's talk about the actual football that happened. Although I do need Miami for the contest tonight. The contest I gave out, I got it's time for confession time, degenerates. The contest bombs I gave out on Thursday went 2-2 and tonight. Question mark. We gave out the Bears and the Bengals. They were wins. We lost the Jets and we lost Arizona. Bears were a complete luck box win, but in my defense, that's exactly how I handicapped it. I said Caleb not playing well. Bears fans go from delusion to moving to goalposts to saying, what do we got going on here? And right now they're moving to goalposts. They said, oh, there's no better situation than ever to Caleb Williams. They're like, he doesn't have an O-line. And you're like, well, his QB rating's improving. He's showing improvement. And that's exactly how the Bears won yesterday. They won by sheer luck. I don't know how they do it. They did it week 1 versus Tennessee. This one they had, they got I don't want to break it down too much, but they got a missed field goal from the Rams, and then they came down and they got a just ridiculous penalty that set up their touchdown. They should set up, the NFL, like during the recap show, they love top 5 touchdowns of the day or top 10 plays. It should be top 10 flags. There were so many penalties that influenced the game yesterday. First of all, it's just nonstop penalties. And it is funny listening to announcers just hate all the flags. But they're huge fucking flags now. They alter the game. And the NFL, it's just how the NFL just doesn't explain themselves for it. And they're like, yep, that's what you're going to take it. That Amari Cooper touchdown for the Raiders and an 80-yard touchdown call back for a ridiculous holding call. And it was a late call. Like, yeah, that's it. All right, well, game's completely changed now. What can you do? We're the NFL. That's my number one penalty. I want to rank the top 5 penalties. They should glorify it. Oh, and what an incredible play by New England as they did a hook and lateral to get the first down at cross field. It was actually exciting, but a penalty for blocking the back. What? Blocking the back? Well, we knew something was up. We just didn't want to run down there. I mean, the refs are literally making things up. And they called so late. There's like, nothing we can do. So, I'll tout that. Bengals got their win. And the over hit on that one. Arizona, my revenge game did not come through, as I guess I did not listen to myself when I said Washington, not only is Jaden Daniels the greatest quarterback in the history of football, but now Washington's the greatest team in the history of football because their defense played yesterday. That's all I need. They destroyed Arizona. What the hell happened? I'm getting Mets updates into the chat box. Great double play. Oh, no. 6-3. Right now is a odd situation going on in baseball. There's a chat room. So there's a doubleheader. Mets Braves. Mets just scored 6 runs in the 8th inning to take the lead 6-3. Now, that means the Braves will win the game too. I don't want to get too into that. But the ref calls are insane. Eric Acosta says, I believe there was a defensive delay of game called yesterday. What does that mean? The defensive delay of game. I love any time they call delay of game in the NFL and then they go to 8 minutes of commercials. Like if you spike the ball in the middle field, you can't spike the ball unless it's a touchdown. Then they call delay a game because the ref has to jog 10 yards to go pick up the ball. Delay a game. Now here's 8 minutes of commercials. Now we'll actually delay the game. A defensive delay of the game. Is that when they call out the misconstrued calls or whatever? Isn't that a thing? When defensive players, I like that. Fake cadence is some of my favorite flags. Because, the quarterback calls the cadence. Omaha, here we go. Blue 22. The Dak Prescott, here we go. And then if a defensive player does it to try to fool the offensive lineman, like blue 33. Hey, was that Jaden Daniels? No, that was the linebacker. Well, he's a hell of an impressionist. I wonder if a football team will do that. Hire like a Frank Caliendo type, a football player that can do impressions of the quarterbacks doing the cadence. That way the ref will never know if it was actually him or not. Get a Rich Little type out there if I did date myself. You know what I also noticed? Speaking of the made-up penalties yesterday, you had your Kansas City Charger game, and I don't know how these Chiefs keep doing it, but they keep winning despite not being good or looking good. Patrick Mahomes, I swear to God, I think Kansas City, they let Patrick Mahomes, he has the right to decline penalties on the Chiefs. Holding, Kansas City. That penalty is declined by Patrick Mahomes. He said, no, we don't want to take a holding call here. So we have to listen to him because he is Patrick Mahomes and he signs all of our paychecks. Unbelievable. The Chargers were up 10-0. Then it was tied up. And then they were driving down. And then Harbaugh had a meltdown. I don't know, some kind of Jedi mind trick you do with the Chiefs. All of a sudden, Harbaugh hasn't gone for a 4th down all year. And the first one he goes for is 4th and 1 down the 5 on a field goal, puts you in the lead with like 7 minutes to go in a defensive game. Like, well, it's the Chiefs, not this Chiefs. Have you been noticing the game? It's 10-10. It's not back and forth. And they rolled Herbert out. Yeah, they asked Harbaugh afterwards, like, yeah, I don't know what the hell I was doing, to be honest with you. I called a timeout when he could have challenged the play before because it looked like he got a 1st down. All he do is challenge it. And if you don't get it, all right, you got a timeout. Instead, he calls a timeout. People freak out when they play the Chiefs. That's what it is. Last week on Sunday Night Football, my man, Raheem Morris, the head coach. Did you see when it was towards the end where Raheem Morris wanted to call defensive timeout, but Reed also wanted to call a timeout for Kansas City? And Morris went running up to the referee. He wanted to steal the timeout from Kansas City. He's like, no. We called it first. Give it to us. What? Why do you want a time? If your opponent's calling a timeout, why do you want to waste one of yours? Because I want it to be our timeout. I don't want to give him the satisfaction of having a timeout. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Steve Elbert says he had a lot of feelings about the refs at the end of the Virginia Tech Miami game on Friday night. Yeah, we'll talk about that in the college show, but that was a travesty. Giving Miami that game, that Hail Mary call. Although I will say Michael Irvin was on the sideline. He was promising a lot of things after the fact to the players and the refs, I'm sure. So I bet you can look into that. But yeah, some of these ref calls are just getting out of hand. All right, I didn't even get to all these NFL recap games. Let me tell you. Let me take this quick. Let me tell you about rhythm. because it is amazing. And then I'll get into more bad calls. Just kidding. Rhythm is the proud partner of SGPN. It's the number one AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds and get predictions for betting money lines, spreads, totals, and props. Build your own model. Copy one of the top-performing models. Leaderboard or press build a model for me, and Rhythm gives you predictions for every game and player prop and also has myriad of stats. Research and trend analysis gives you even more betting insights. Rhythm liked Bucky Irvin yesterday. He sure had a good game. I could have told you that, though. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Also brought to you by BetUS. Bet with the best in the business. BetUS has been around for more than 30 years. Easily deposit using cryptocurrency. Get lightning fast payouts. U.S. players are always welcome. Highlight a bet I like on you at BetUS. Sure, ad read. I'll highlight a bet I like on the BetUS. That is the over in Detroit, Seattle tonight, 47. Use your link to sign up to 125% deposit bonus up to your first 3 deposits. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. Promo code SGPN so they know we sent you. BetUS, America's favorite sports book. And we're back here on this Bottom Line Bombs. I'm your host, C.J. Sullivan, the Bet Detective. Thank you for watching on YouTube. I like how BetUS gives you a deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits because they know you're going to brick out those first 2. Who are we kidding? You're going to need to refill. So we got a deposit for all 3 of you. Don't worry. We got you covered. And then if you brick out that 3rd one, maybe call a number. Call a hotline. Not on my show, though, baby. Welcome to the YouTube. Make sure you smash that like button. Smash the like button. Thumbs up, all that kind of stuff. Subscribe to me on Instagram at CJ was taken, _ between each word, or on X at CJ _. Anyway, all right, let's get to those games that did happen yesterday. Now, I did not put the Jets in the contest, he generous. Listen to this. I put in another loser, but I didn't like the Jets. I didn't like the weather report. So that's the thing with contests. I'll give out my picks on Thursday, and then sometimes new information comes out. So sometimes I'll switch it around. Usually that works against you. Anytime you switch around, it usually works against you. But sometimes you have to do it for the contest. Now, Denver won outright. Amazing. Bo Nix had incredible stats. At one point, it looked like a golf. It looked like he was leading. Like someone said, he was leading the Sunday into Masters. He had minus 10 yards, minus 0.09 per attempt. He threw for 60 yards, and Cortland Sutton caught 60 yards. He's not the only guy who caught passes, but he had all 60 yards. He had 8 other receivers combined for like minus 5 yards. It was insane. Granted, it was bad weather. How funny was that, though? The revenge game. The Nathaniel Hackett revenge game. I love all these revenge games when they're usually justified. Oh, Nathaniel Hackett's going to get revenge on Denver for what? Being a terrible coach? No, he's going to do exactly what he did there to show that, yeah, they were right to get rid of him. Aaron Rodgers, well, you don't talk bad about my guy, even if it's 100% correct what you said. As a matter of fact, I'm going to prove you right by not scoring a touchdown at all. Breece Hall also did not look good in that game. But then you have the Arizona-Washington, the Kingsbury revenge game. Oh, Cliff Kingsbury. He used to be the coach there. He's getting his revenge. Revenge for what? He was terrible. Revenge for not letting him completely destroy a franchise? Oh, my God. Be thankful. How about a grateful game? How about a game of gratitude? What's with all these revenge games? How about games of gratitude where, like, you know what? I can't believe they paid me for what I did. That's what Malik Willis did. Shout out to Malik Willis. Who, yes, he did beat Tennessee in his revenge return. But they asked him beforehand, do you feel like you got revenge, playing here? Because they didn't give up on you? Like, gave up on me? They paid me, didn't they? They drafted me. You saw me play. They had no business doing that. God bless them that their checks cleared the way I played. No, I'm very thankful for what they did. Nathaniel Hackett should be extremely grateful that the Broncos let him coach 14, however many games let him coach. That's how bad he was. Anyway, big Jets win. Big Jets loss, I mean. They look like a mess. It's so funny. Now you see headlines like Stephen A. Smith now is out on the Jets after calling him a Super Bowl contender a week ago. Well, I love when these people report on other people's hot takes. Like, do you not understand that none of these people believe what they say? And they're more than prisoner at the moment. Anyway. So I did switch also. I also switched off to the Browns because of the news. That's what you got to do in contests. I caught a dead number, as they say. Because news came out on Friday that Davante Adams and Max Crosby were not playing. They were business decisions made, I guess. And okay, well, that seems pretty good because the Raiders were favored and now the Browns were 2.5-point favorites. But in the contest line, it was like they're getting points. So I'm like, all right, I might as well take the Browns because you have a dead number. And all the sharps will tell you you got to take a dead number. Well, a lot of times when you take a dead number, you're also taking a dead team. And the Browns are a dead fucking team. Oh, but it was sharp. As long as I got closing line value, I can brag about that. Am I going to the window with a winning ticket? No, but I can brag about how great value I got. Would you take the Raiders? Terrible value. Oh, yeah, won. Sure. Yeah, you won. But I had the Browns with great value. So who's the real winner? Probably me, if you look at it that way. But that Amari Cooper touchdown, that should have been an 80-yard. That was insane. An 80-yard touchdown, and then they called a holding. The ref is just like, yeah, I don't feel like jogging down to the other end. I don't feel like going down there, so hold. And then the Raiders players are they got choreographed dances for holds. That's when you know the NFL's in a good spot. When they're celebrating penalties like that. And that's how you know the refs mean a little too much in the game. What else? What other game? The Atlanta-New Orleans game. That was another dead number. I switched over to Atlanta. I said I wanted no parts of that Freaknik game, and that's exactly why. 26-24. I couldn't tell you how either team won that game. Atlanta didn't score an offensive touchdown, yet they won. Then the Saints were both teams made just insane decisions. Bijan Robinson had like 2 yards, but he also had a touchdown called back for some crazy receiver hold. Taysom Hill had 2 touchdowns, got knocked out. White angles. Justin Herbert playing on a broken ankle. How does Harbaugh keep doing it? How does he keep throwing him out there? Knowing he can get more hurt. Although, I will say this about Justin Herbert. He has the most gorgeous incompletions I've ever seen. His incompletions are beautiful. He throws he'll launch a 60-yard tightest spiral. Best thing you've ever seen. Out over the outstretched hands of receiver or behind him or to the left. I mean, they just look great. He had he rolled left and he fucking threw this like magic bullet JFK style through defenders to J.K. Dobbins' hips, right in his hands. He drops it, of course, because Herbert throws the best incompletions in the league, in the biz. Just amazing. Games that missed my card. I like when sharps say that. Games that missed my card that were very close. Certified leans. I did have the Jaguars plus the points. They almost didn't cover because of the laterals and the kicks. They should have won that game outright. I cannot believe how bad Doug Peterson is. Doug Peterson winning a Super Bowl. Now he's the Marissa Tomei. He's the shame, but at least that's not an award. I always say to Marissa Tomei is like, she won an Oscar? We gave her an Oscar for fucking My Cousin Vinny? Really? What were we thinking? Doug Peterson he's a Super Bowl winning coach. He won a Super Bowl. Really? Who did they beat? Some like the Chargers or something? The Patriots? They beat not with Brady and Belichick? What? What, did he have an off game? Was it like that one versus the Rams where he had 13 points? No, he scored 40 points and 30. Did they still beat him? What the hell? All right, if you say so. But yes, the Jaguars should have won that game. Tank Bigsby broke off this. It looked like a touchdown. He got tripped up at the 5, and then they ran the most ridiculous plays and then went for it and got nothing. And a field goal would have won the game because the Texans could not move the ball. And then it was just so inevitable. And I had the Jags money line with the Colts money line and the Vikings money line all parlayed into one. I'm out. I said it to you guys, degenerates. I needed time away from Jacksonville. We needed to separate. They are so dumb. But late Sunday, I was like, I can't quit you just now, Jacksonville. Let me toss you this money line parlay. It was like 15-1, and they were the ones who looked the best. Although the Colts light up a cigar when Joe Flacco comes into the game. Lock that up. I was watching the show with Sean and Ryan, watching the games, here at the studio, and they had the Steelers, and they knew they were dead as soon as Joe Flacco comes into the game. That's not true. The Steelers actually had a very good chance of winning that game, especially if Pickens doesn't fumble going into the end zone. But it's just amazing. I think every team should get Joe Flacco for like a month. Just like, let your fan bring in all the dads back to the stadium. Bring them back, get a rooting interest, Because Flacco doesn't care. He doesn't even need to know your playbook. He goes from the couch to the field. Receivers love him. He reminds them of their dad. And he'll get you to the goddamn win. Now, come playoff time, you don't want Joe Flacco in there. But yeah, he'll get you a couple wins at home. Why not? He'll right the ship. He'll get the Colts a win. The Browns had to get rid of Joe Flacco just because he was too good. Like, we don't need that. We don't need our fan base to need one our $250 million man out of there. Joe Flacco revenge. That was the thing with the Andy Dalton revenge game, too, with Cincinnati. Cincinnati and Carolina, watch out. It's going to be an Andy Dalton revenge game on the bet. Andy Dalton revenge? He can have revenge on half the league. He's played for fucking 18 teams. Actually, I think it's only been 4, but it seems like he's. How many teams has Dalton played for? How many revenge angles does he need? Eric Acosta says years ago he was fired from Subway. He plans on returning there this week for a revenge meal. How you like that, Subway? You remember this? It looks like someone made a mistake. What? Yeah, I made a mistake. So we got cold cut combo. We thought you'd move on with your life. We're glad you did. We hope you moved on from working at Subway. This isn't a career path making sandwiches. I've never liked Subway. I'll get Subway in a pinch. I'm not saying that. But I never understood the Subway phenomenon where people would like maybe because that's from the East Coast and we have a lot of delis and it wasn't until I moved to Chicago that I learned that delis wasn't as prevalent and there wasn't always a good sandwich place to get. You had to seek out like an Italian place to get sandwiches. Maybe that's it. But I always thought Subway was a disgrace to the food business as far as hoagies and shit goes. What I did like about Subway is the whole Jared situation with them, obviously. They knew something was wrong with Jared, but they couldn't get rid of him because we wouldn't let it. So they struck gold with the Jared from Subway. I'm getting off subject here a little bit, but Acosta got me into it. They struck gold with Jared from Subway when he did the whole, I lost weight by eating fucking 6-inch subs, which, okay. Okay, Jared, good for you. We're all proud you lost weight. You had the big pants you would hold up, What were you eating before that, by the way? Anyway, they struck gold with it, so people were like, hey, let's do this. People, you can lose weight with our fucking garbage ass turkey and ham somehow. Follow what this guy did. And so he became a spokesman, and we loved it. We loved Jared's big fucking pants. Well, after he hung around for a little while, we realized, Subway realized, something's probably not right here. A guy that used to weigh 500 pounds in college had probably had a garbage bag full of porn and some other things. And all of a sudden, he's a celebrity. That's not the guy you want to give overnight success to. You don't want to peel those layers of that onion. So Subway tried to get rid of him slowly, and they did other commercials without him. And we went nuts. We're like, where the fuck is Jared? Where'd Jared go? We want Jared. Like, they're doing celebrities. You know, Kyler Murray, whatever, you know what I mean? All those weird Russell Wilson one, whatever, any celebrity, whatever. But we're like, where's Jared? They're like, fine, we'll bring back Jared. We're just trust me, you're gonna want to distance yourself from him. So then the celebrities had to be with Jared, and then they're like, that was kind of weird. And then it was too late. Then it all came crashing down. We don't have to go through the details, but yeah. Those footlongs are in jail. And Subway's like, God damn it. We knew this was going to happen, but you Americans wouldn't let damn it, you wouldn't let us get rid of them. So now we all have blood on our hands, or I won't get too graphic, other fluids on our hands. Anyway, let me get out of there. Jesus Christ, what am I doing? So that's what missed the card. San Francisco also missed the card. They covered easily. Colts win. What are we at here? Oh, my God. We're already at 52 minutes. Ravens won last night over Buffalo. Big game for Derrick Henry and the boys. And Justice Hill receiving props. Shout out to Kramer, who gave out the ladder for Justice Hill receiving. That hit pretty easily. I played the Mark Andrews receiving ladder. I thought, boy, you could really buy low on him. This is as low as it's going to get. Nope, it got lower. Mark Andrews is not a thing, which is great for my one fantasy team where I drafted him pretty high. Pretty high. Yeah, there's like, you know what, Mark Andrews, we know you are a great tight end for us, probably an Hall of Fame, but yeah, no. How about no? We're just not going to give you the ball. We want you to block. We threw you one ball, you dropped it, and everyone booed. So apparently everyone hates you now. So nothing we can do. Sorry, Mark. But yeah, you can stay with the team. You know, you don't have to leave. We're not going to trade you. No one wants you. We've actually got rid of all of your trade value. But yeah, no, if we win a Super Bowl, you'll get a ring. You're here. You're part of the team. Don't worry about it. Maybe, you know, help out the young guys. Maybe show Isaiah Likely what it is to catch. I don't know, whatever you want to do. But you're not going to be catching any passes. We don't do that with you anymore. E. Arbo says the best Subway commercials in Happy Gilmore. I agree. That's one of those rare commercials where, like, I actually felt hungry after that. I'm like, you know what? I kind of want a Subway sandwich. Maybe that's just the power of Adam Sandler and how likable he is. But I remember watching that. I mean, I watched that movie in the theater with my mom. I'll never forget that. I think we got Subway afterwards, or she wanted to get Subway afterwards. My mom was a big movie fan. I think she liked. I don't know if she liked Happy Gilmore. I don't remember. Shout out to my mom, but she saw some movies. I'll say this about my mom, Maureen Sullivan, rest in peace. She was a big movie person. She would always take me to the movies, but she would always take me to like her heartthrob movies that she couldn't do with my dad. Your Robert Redford, your Tom Cruise. Like, I saw all the bullshit movies. I'm like, as a child, I should not have been watching. Like, I should not have watched Legal Eagles in the theater. But I did. I saw Robert Redford's Legal Eagles. We saw Speed 4 times one summer because she did not know who Keanu Reeves was, but she became a fan after that. And then I remember showing her, like, what else is he in? And I told her big, like Bill and Ted's. It's like, she saw that. It's like, oh, he's not hot here. What's this? Not for an old woman. Not for a mom, that's for sure. Anyway, shout out to Mo. Oh, yeah, and then we'd also see movies. I saw Happy Gilmore, and I don't think she wouldn't mind it. But like sometimes she let me choose. We saw The Beast. Is that the British one? The subtitles? She goes, I don't want to read. It's British, I know, but I don't want to read. I can understand that. E. Arbo says, Grandpa took him and his cousin to see Cliffhanger, 7 years old, RP. That's a good movie, though. 7 years old, no matter what. Cliffhanger, kids can like that. I saw Cliffhanger on a dubbed VHS tape. Shout out to Charlie Sullivan, RIP, my dad. He would bring back movies from work, from the Philadelphia streets. He would pay his guy that were still in the theater, bootlegged. It would just be a blank tape labeled, and it would say Cliffhanger. It would say something on a black Sharpie marker. Sometimes you get the goods, like, now they're your screeners. They'd have the FBI warning going underneath, call this number, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's be one of those tapes. Sometimes it would be a straight up camcorder in a movie theater. But he'd get him $5, $10. I remember Cliffhanger being one of them. That was a big one. Then there was the Dances with Wolves fiasco. I could tell you about that. We Dances with Wolves, of course, swept the box off. That was a big one. Costner, all dads love Costner. He brought that back. We were all excited. We gathered around the TV, and it was a straight up blank tape. He got scammed. And he was in denial. He sat there fast forwarding for like 30 minutes, just finger on the fast forward button of a VCR. And we slowly, me, my mom, my sister, one by one, just walked out of the room. Like, okay, all right, well, we're going to go do other things. I got some homework I got to do. And yeah, I need some dishes done. But if it comes on, he said, no, it's on. My guy wouldn't do that to me. I think your guy did it. He later said that he got his money back, which I doubt he did, but he just wanted to save face, and God bless him. As I grew up, I understand that being a dad and being a man is just about being humiliated. So I understand why he did that. Anyway, all right, let's get to the box. Yeah, shout out to everyone. Thank you for watching and enjoying the show today. The Bottom Line Bombs. We'll go Dolphins we have tonight and the over on both games. Hopefully lines. Don't forget the JSN ladder, the Jahmyr Gibbs ladder. Lockett, I like his over. Got a lot of plays tonight. Thank you, everyone, in the comments. Make sure you follow. Like I said, me on X at Cedar Sullivan _ or on Instagram, Cedar Sullivan was taken _ in between each words. This week, I will be in North Carolina. Hopefully. Supposed to fly out tomorrow morning. I got shows in Green. I'm going out there with TJ Miller. We're doing stand-up. What did I say? It was in, let me say the dates just in case. Now I understand half of the state is underwater. It is being washed away. Not sure if they've reported on it or not. That's what people like complaining about. Why don't they report on these things? The Appalachians got completely destroyed, and I feel the media is not reporting on it. Hold on. I'm in Greensboro, North Carolina tomorrow. Greensboro, South Carolina the next day. Hickory, North Carolina at the Comedy Zone Greenville, the premiere in Hickory. And then all weekend, I'll be at Charlotte, North Carolina, the Comedy Zone. So if you're out in North Carolina, and if you are dry, if I get there, these shows happen, let's do it. Like I said, a lot of flooding happens. But I see that on X a lot. And I fell victim to it too. I'm like, yeah, you're right. People aren't reporting about this enough. And then I told this to Sean Flannery, my friend, who I do another podcast with called The Blackout Diaries, a drinking storytelling show. Make sure you subscribe to that as well. It's a very fun show. We had the Colby D on there recently, college football show. And Flannery, who's a tech guy, says, yeah, I don't think that's it. And I kind of agree with him. They are reporting on it. It's just that our news gathering and what we see is so curated to us that we have a news bubble. And that's the problem with the new AI and everything. Everything's shaped to us personally, but we don't see any outside perspectives. So like, why isn't anyone talking about it? First of all, you're talking about it. I like when people say that. Why won't the media talk about this? The other media is scared to say. You can say it. No one controls what you say. You're saying it right now. Why are you saying no one's saying it when you're currently saying it? How come everyone on my Twitter feed's not talking about it? Because that's who you follow. But it's not even who you follow now. It's just who they put on there. But when was the last time you even watched 10 minutes of a fucking national news program? They're talking about it. Trust me. They're talking about the floods. I will say this. I saw the story about the Boar's Head deli meat killed 10 people. There was a recall. They recalled some Boar's Head deli meat that's in your fridge right now, apparently. Told like mid-October. And it's already killed 10 people. I saw that article. I'm like, that seems like something that should have gotten a little more news. That there's a popular deli meat in your fridge right now that could kill you? Why am I hearing about this after the fact that people died? That should have been a fucking Amber Alert or a Silver Alert. Give me a goddamn deli meat alert. That's something that's in my fridge today. Listen, somebody's grandpa's wandering around. Hell, he's an adult. He'll find his way somewhere. Someone will bring him back. We don't got to be able to look out for this. Turkey, though. Let's talk some turkey. Put down on my phone. Hey, put down a sandwich. That shit can kill you. Throw it away. I say that because I got a silver alert. You already know my takes on Amber Alerts. Amber Alerts are usually divorced dads who got the date fucked up. They're usually false alarms. Silver Alerts, though, that's always a thing, too. That jacks up your phone. You're like, Meh! You're like, Silver Alert. And then you look at the Silver Alert. You're like, what? That's like the equivalent of seeing a Silver Alert on your phone is like when you see sirens and you're like, oh, fuck, it's a cop. But then it turns out to be like some kind of, emergency vehicle or a parking vehicle. Like, what? Or a tow truck with their bullshit bought at the hardware store sirens. Get the fuck out. I'm not pulling over for you. You're a tow truck. Get the hell out of here. Like Silver Alert. What? I'm not. All right. I mean, if I see an old man wandering around, normally I'd be like, oh, okay, maybe you're okay. I'm not going to keep an eye out for some guy who maybe wanted to go to the goddamn bar. Huh? Maybe he forgot his phone. God forbid. God forbid. I said, God forbid, because Eric Turman said there's a good bit in that Boar's Head Amber Alert. Thank you, buddy. You know what? Come out. If you're in North Carolina, and I know you're out east, Eric Turman, Washington Commander fan, congratulations on having the greatest football team in the history of football. I will. I'll throw the deli meat into my Amber Alert bit. It sounds like fun. Now I have something to actually look forward to. Oh man! All right, that's gonna do it for today's bottom line bombs. I got a good man in the box rant right there. There we go. Like I said, thank you everybody for coming in to the comment room. Make sure you give me a 5-star review. Leave a comment. That helps all the algorithms. Lets the phones know that people like me. I don't care if you like me. I just care if your phone likes me. I just want the phones to like me and tell other phones, hey, phones, phone a friend. And by that, I mean other phones. And get me on everyone's phone. That's what we try to do in the biz today. All right, that's going to do it. Thank you, everyone. Eric Acosta, E. Arbo, Eric Turman, Steve Elridge. Forgot about you. Takeo Spikes, Feach Lamagna, all the regulars and the degenerates. Happy bombing. And I will do another show on Thursday from the road. Where is the theme song? I know it's here somewhere. Hold on there.